Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol. जय श्री श्री राधा गोपी वल्लभा की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, निरंतराट श्रीमद् भागवतम की. So this is verse number 39, correct? Prabhu gave this. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuvunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Hoshe Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavatanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class this morning. We are reciting from the 10th canto, 13th chapter, text number 39. Naite suresha rishayo na chaite Tvameva bhasisha bhidashrayepi Sarvam pratakvam nigamat katam vade Yuktena vrittam prabhuna balo vait Naite suresha rishayo na chaite Tvameva bhasisha bhidashrayepi Sarvam pratakvam nigamat katham vadet Yuktena vrittam prabhuna balo vait Naite suresha rishayo na chaite Tvameva bhasisha bhidashrayepi Sarvam prathakvam nigamat khatam vade Tyuktena vrittam prabhuna balo vait. Yes. Who would like to recite? Anybody? Yes? Any other?
Naite suresha rishayo na chaite
Naite suresha rishayo na chaite Tvameva bhasisha bhidashrayepi Sarvam pratakvam nigamat katam vade Yuktena vrittam prabhuna balo vait Naite suresha rishayo na chaite Tvameva bhasisha bhidashrayepi Sarvam pratakvam nigamat katham vadet Yuktena vrittam prabhuna balo vait Naite suresha rishayo na chaite Tvameva bhasisha bhidashrayepi Sarvam pratakvam nigamat katham vadet Yuktena vrittam prabhuna balo vait. Matajis? Naite suresha rishayo na chaite Tvameva bhasisha bhidashrayepi Sarvam pratakvam nigamat katham vadet Yuktena vrittam prabhuna balo vait. No, not. Ete, these boys. Sura Ishaha, Sura Ishaha, the best of the demigods. Rishayaha, great sages. Na, not. Cha, and. Ete, these calves. Tvam, you, Krishna. Eva, alone. Bhasi, or manifesting. Isha, O Supreme Controller. Vidashraye, in the existence of varieties of difference. Api, even. Sarvam, everything. Pratak, existing. Tvam, you, Krishna. Nigamat, briefly. Katham, how. Vada, please explain. Iti, thus. Uktena, having been requested by Baladeva. Vrittam, the situation. Prabhuna, having been explained by Lord Krishna. Balaha, Baladeva. Avait, understood. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki.
O Supreme Controller, these boys are not great demigods, as I previously thought. Nor are these calves great sages like Narada. Now I can see that you alone are manifesting yourself in all varieties of difference. Although one, you are existing in the different forms of calves and boys. Please briefly explain this to me. Having thus been requested by Lord Baldev, Krishna explained the whole situation and Baldev understood it. Purport: inquiring from Krishna about the actual situation, Lord Balaram said, "My dear Krishna, in the beginning I thought that all these calves and cowherd boys were either great sages and saintly persons or demigods. But at the present it appears that they are actually your expansions. They are all you. You yourself are playing as the calves and the cows and boys. What is the mystery of this situation? Where have those other calves and cows and boys gone? And why are you expanding yourself as the cows, calves and boys? Will you kindly tell me what is the cause?" At the request of Balram, Krishna briefly explained the whole situation. How the calves and boys were stolen by Brahma and how he was concealing the incident by expanding himself so that people would not know that the original cows, calves and boys were missing. Balram understood, therefore, that this was not Maya but Krishna's opulence. Krishna has all opulences, and this was but another opulence of Krishna. At first, Lord Balaram said, I thought that these boys and cows were a display of the power of great sages like Narada. But now I see that all these boys and calves are you. After inquiring from Krishna, Lord Balaram understood that Krishna himself had become many. That the Lord can do this is stated in the Brahma Samhita 5.33. Advaitam achyutam anadimanantarupam. Although he is one, he can expand himself in so many forms. According to the Vedic version, ekam bahusyam. He can expand himself into many thousands and millions, but still remain one. In that sense, everything is spiritual because everything is an expansion of Krishna. That is, everything is an expansion of either of Krishna himself or of his potency. Because the potency is non-different from the potency and the potent are one. Shakti Shaktimatayor abhedaha. The Mayavadis, however, say Chid Achid Samanvayaha. Spirit and matter are one. This is a wrong conception. Spirit, Chit, is different from matter, Achit, as explained by Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita 7.4-5. Bhumirapolino vayo kammano buddhirevacha ahankaramiti yamme bhinna prakritirashtadha apareyamitastvayam prakritim vidime param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam dharate jagat. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. All together, these 8 comprise my separated material energies. But besides this inferior nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is a superior energy of mine which consists of all living entities who are struggling with material nature and are sustaining the universe. Spirit and matter cannot be made one. for actually they are superior and inferior energies. Yet the Mayavadis or Advaitavadis try to make them one. This is wrong. Although spirit and matter ultimately come from the same one source, they cannot be made one. For example, there are many things that come from our bodies, but although they come from the same source, they cannot be made one. We should be careful to note that although the Supreme Source is one, the emanations from this source should be separately regarded as inferior and superior. The difference between the Mayavad and Vaishnava philosophies is that the Vaishnava philosophy recognizes this fact. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy, therefore, is called Achintya Bheda Abheda, simultaneous oneness and difference. For example, fire and heat cannot be separated. For where there is fire, there is heat. And where there is heat, there is fire. Nonetheless, although we cannot touch fire, heat we can tolerate. Therefore, although they are one, they are different.
So, in our Vedic literatures, you will find two words, Shakti and Shaktiman. Like Krishna and Radharani is Shakti. Prabhu Ramachandra is Shaktiman and Sita is Shakti. Similarly, you will always see that Shakti precedes the name of Shaktiman. Lakshmi Narayan, Radha Krishna, Sita Ram. You will not hear as Ram Sita or Krishna Radha. You won't hear that. You hear always Radha, Radha Krishna, Sita Ram, Lakshmi Narayan. So the energy precedes energetic. So they are worshipped together. On the altar also you see Radha Gopi Vallabhas worshipped together. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one verse, Ataparakita Surya nahi jani Krishna virahita Radha virahita Krishna nahi mani. He is saying that I will not accept a sun which does not have sunlight. Similarly, I will not accept Krishna without Srimati Radharani, he says. Because you will see in Gorakhpur Press Bhagavad Gita book, you find one Krishna standing alone. Have you seen that? In some Gita Press books, Bhagavad Gita. So, why they put Krishna alone? Some people worship Krishna alone like that, single. But Gaudiya Vaishnavas don't worship Krishna alone. They worship with Srimati Radharani. Why? Because Radharani is the supreme devotee. Krishna is the supreme Lord. And she is there to teach us how to become Krishna's devotee. In fact, she is the one who is engaging us in seva. And we don't know how to approach Krishna directly. So we have to approach Krishna through her. Just like Hanuman is pleasing Lord Rama by meeting Mother Sita and fulfilling her desires. She told, give this Chudamani to Rama, correct, no? So he brought that ring from Ram to Sita, and then he took the Chudamani from Sita and gave it to Rama. So he's serving both of them. Sita and Ram is serving. So the Shakti is subordinate to Lord, and always Shakti acts to give pleasure to the Lord with all the jivas. So we also, following in footsteps of Srimati Radharani, we should always remain subordinate to Lord. If we think I am the Lord, then one becomes Mayavadi. Mayavadis claim I am only God. So we should remain subordinate to Lord, like Hanuman or Garuda. Always remain subordinate to Lord. And also, because I am subordinate, it's my duty to please the boss. Lord is the master, so I have to please him. I am his servant. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he is Krishna himself, if somebody would call him as, you are only Krishna, he would immediately plug his ears and say, Vishnu, Vishnu, he would say. Don't call a jiva as God. It's an offense, he would say. You will not accept. So, he is teaching all of us that the jiva can never become God, and jiva is always subordinate to God, and jiva should make an effort to please God. And we learn it from the Supreme Shakti, Srimati Radharani. Now, till now I have been telling you the difference between Shakti and Shaktiman, and why this difference exists. That is also given in the scriptures. Because that one absolute truth, supreme truth, has expanded into two forms, Radha and Krishna, Sita and Ram and Lakshmi Narayan, in order to expand his bliss and to distribute that bliss to all the living entities also. So, how does that happen? Huh? For example, in this world, when Lord Ramachandra comes here, at one point of time, Sita is separated from him by Ravana. Huh? Ravana took away Sita to Lanka. And therefore, Lord Rama is weeping and in separation. That's a lila. That time, all the Rama's devotees, they also weep along with them. Huh? Because they want to find out ways and means to bring the Shaktiman and Shakti together. So devotees of the Lord bring Shakti and Shaktiman together, and Asuras try to separate them. Like Ravana, what is he trying to do? Separate. But Hanuman, what is he trying to do? Unite them together. You will see that. So that's the difference between Ravana and Hanuman. Like we also as devotees, we go to the mass of people and request them for Lakshmi, so that Lakshmi can be used in Gopi Vallabha's service. So Lakshmi is Shakti and Gopi Vallabha is Shaktiman. So connect Lakshmi to Narayana. You understand the point, no? Similarly, Hanuman is going to Lanka and getting information from Sita and connecting Sita back to Rama. You can see that. So devotees bring Shakti Shaktiman together like that. And this is what happens. When Shakti Shaktiman are separated, devotees get a lot of seva in trying to bringing them together. And when they are already united, like Sita Rama together in Ayodhya after Ravana's birth is over, then devotees put up a big festival and celebrate. That is Patabhishek for Rama. You must have seen that picture. Like Lord Ram is here, Sita is here, and Lakshman and Hanuman is sitting at the feet. There is a big festival, big feast and utsavams, where there is chanting and dancing and a festive occasion like that. So when they are together, celebrate festival. When they are separated, do a lot of service in bringing them together. Therefore, Lord has eternally expanded himself into Shakti, so that he and Shakti can have leelas, and all the children, like tiny living entities, they will also have the fun of taking part in the leela. Like for example, Lord Rama is dependent on his devotees. He is asking Sugriva, can you please help me to find Sita? And then he gets all the millions of monkeys to go to different parts of the universe to search for Sita. That's the first seva they got. Then afterwards, Lord Rama is, walking towards Lanka after knowing about Sita. Then he is asking the Vanaras, can you please help me to make one Setubandha? Then they all become very spirited. They take the stones and they take the, they write the Ram Nam and they put it in the ocean. And so in this way they get service again. Imagine if Rama says, I am only God, what are you guys going to help me? I will just make the bridge and you just clap hands. If he says like that, all the monkeys would cry because their hands are itching for some service. They want to do some service. So this is the beauty of the Shakti Shaktiman. When they are separated, there are abundant services. And in those services, the devotees derive great delight. Actually, service involves hard work, but in that hard work, there is also joy. In performing that hard work. And why there is joy? Because ultimately this hard work is going to be offered for the pleasure of the Lord. Then it becomes a very joyful thing for all the jivas. Now in the same manner, when Lord Ramachandra was in the forest with Vishwamitra Muni before the marriage, so he and Lakshman are assisting Vishwamitra in killing demons like Tataka and others, correct, no? In the beginning. Now, they were also massaging the feet of Vishwamitra. And Vishwamitra would tell them, my dear boys, go to sleep. You don't have to massage me anymore. I am already comfortable. So you go and you also sleep. But they won't sleep. They will keep on massaging the feet of their guru. So in this way, Lord Rama comes in this world to teach us. Even though he is God, he teaches how one should become a disciple. He is teaching that. And Vishwamitra is telling, today I will teach you 2 arrows, how to send them, Bala and Atibal. 2 great arrows I will award you and I will teach you how to use them. And Prabhu Ramachandra is learning from Vishwamitra as if he doesn't know it. He knows everything. He's looking at Sarayu and asking, oh, great Rishi, can you tell us some pastimes about the Sarayu? Sarayu is actually Ganga flowing from his lotus feet only. But he's asking as if he doesn't know. So in this way, Lord, when he comes in this world with his devotees, he gets a chance to have such loving exchanges, and in this way, he performs pastimes. And then Ram is asking, so do you want us to stay with you more, or do you want us to send us back to our father Dasharath? So he says, there's one very important thing to be done. I'm going to take you both to Mithilapuri. So in the frontiers of Mithila, Lord Ramachandra delivered Ahilya by touching the dust of his lotus feet on a stone. And immediately Ahilya Uddhar happened. Then they walked ahead. At that time, Mother Sita, she was actually having a Swayamvar program where many kings from all over the world had arrived. Now, why was that Swayamvar arranged and why was that bow to be broken? That is another great history. One day when the Sita, as a little girl, was playing in the garden, her friends wanted some flowers from the tree. So she said, wait a minute. She went inside and picked up the Shiva Dhanush with her left hand, and then she hit the branch and all the flowers fell down. Then she went and kept it back in the same place. Seeing that, the ministers were shocked. They said, the Shiva Dhanush is such a hefty thing. To lift it, you need 800 people. And how is it? They went and reported to the king. Your daughter is like a magical girl. She's just picking up with her left hand. How she has so much strength. King didn't believe it. Then the rishis came and told him, we were in the garden, we also witnessed with our eyes that your little daughter, she's a little girl, she's not even 9 years old. She's picking up with her left hand. And king became very worried. If I were to give her in marriage to some man, if she happens to be so strong, with one embrace he'll become chutney. Isn't it? How can I give her in marriage to any ordinary man? So then he thought, I have to get one man who is capable of breaking this bow. That is how he came up with the idea. Then he said, most of the guys could not even twang the bow. What to speak of, breaking the bow. They couldn't even lift it. The rope was so tight rope in that. When they would try to catch it and pull it, they were toppled several feet ahead. And they broke their hands, broke their legs, some broke their head also. So it was very, very difficult thing. But Rama not only lifted it up, he also broke the bow. You all know that. So, but prior to that, what happened was, when Lord Ram was walking in the roadway along with Vishwamitra was in the middle. One side Ram, one side Lakshman. They are walking inside Mithilapuri. And all the big palaces, people are watching from the top. People are amazed by the beauty of Lord Ramachandra, isn't it? So there's a beautiful verse which says, Shri Ramam Dasharathatmajam aprameyam Sitapatim Raghukulan Mayaratna Deepam Ajanubahu Aravinda Dalayataksham Nishachara Vinashakaram Namami. Like that's a very beautiful prayer. Shri Ramam Dasharathatmaja is the son of Dasharatha. Aprameyam, his strength is immeasurable. Sitapatim is the Lord of Sita. Raghukulan Maya Ratna Deepam is called as the Raghukula Tilakam. He is called, the Tilaka is the one which decorates the face. Similarly, Lord is like a decoration to the whole Raghu dynasty. Ajanubahu means he's very tall and very hefty, powerful personality. Green in color, like a dhruva grass, with his hair tied above his head, with a knot with pearls. Ajanubahu Aravinda Dalayataksham. His eyes are like beautiful lotus petals. Nishachara Vinashakaram. He is the destroyer of the Asuras, who are always awake the whole night. Namami, he is saying, I offer my obeisances to him. So, this is the form of Lord Rama which was charming to the heart of all the Mithilavasis. They were wondering, who is this great personality? Where has he come from? They were all talking. At that time, Mother Sita was in the garden along with her Sakhis, plucking flowers to make a garland, because that garland is to be offered to the king who will break the bow, isn't it? So, at that time when Rama was passing by, there were bushes, but in between the bushes, Lord Rama's eye fell on Sita's form. And Sita also suddenly turned and looked at Rama. For a moment, when both their eyes met with each other, it was like the universe has come to a halt, as if time had come to a halt. They both were stunned at looking at each other. And of course, Rama could not reveal his mind to Lakshman or to Guruji also. How can you tell Guruji, who is that beautiful girl? You cannot ask. But he was stunned for a moment, like that. Sita was also stunned. And afterwards, Sita's Sakhis called, "Hey Sita, what happened? Come, we are going now." So all of them are going. Sita was going, but she turned behind and watched one last time. And then in heart of hearts, secretly she prayed, "I don't know who is this personality, and I don't know why am I feeling such deep attraction for him. Maybe he is one of the kings who is coming for the Swayamvar. And if he is coming for Swayamvar, I wish he can break the bow and I can become his servant maid. He can become Lord of my life." Like that she had aspiration in her heart. And then when she picked up the garland and she was coming down the staircase, like Ganga flowing down, she was coming. At that time she saw all the kings arrayed in the hall. There were many kings sitting on the galleries also, with their big mustaches and beards. Kings were sitting. And as soon as they saw Sita coming down the steps with the garland, that's the first time they are seeing Sita's beauty. Many fellows fell from the top to bottom, dop, like that. So they were charmed by the beauty. Even after falling down also, with unblinking eyes they were watching also. It is said. So, and then the game started, not the game, I mean the competition of breaking the bow. One by one they were all thrown off. And then sure enough, Sita saw Rama there. She said, "Oh, that person has come." So she was praying in her heart, "Oh Lord, let nobody else break the bow. Let him only break the bow." And sure enough that happened. We all know that. But why am I saying this? When devotees read this kind of section, their hair stands on end and their emotions are churned, because they know who is Sita and Rama, and they both are eternally related to each other. And Shakti Shaktiman are one, they have divided into two for the sake of lila. So it increases the enthusiasm and curiosity and eagerness and the bliss of the devotees. And when Sita is praying that, "Let me get Rama as my husband," devotees are also praying, "Let Rama go to nobody else, let Rama come to her only." Like that. So that's why when you read Ramayana, the verse after verse you read, it will be difficult for you to close it once you open it like that. And then when it's not that Rama is walking with Vishwamitra and then suddenly he happens to see Sita in the garden. "Hi Shakti, I am Shaktiman here." He doesn't talk like that. They behave as if they don't know each other. That is to increase the sweetness of the lila, correct, no? Like that. So, the greatest Shakti is Sita and greatest Shaktiman is Rama, and we all are like tiny Shaktis assisting in that lila. This is supreme romance. The romance is a spiritual romance, it is. And the poor imitation of this romance is seen in this world like a broken piece of glass. There's a diamond versus broken piece of glass, isn't it? So Lord's romance is diamond, which is, because both are purest of the personalities, Sita and Rama. And assisting in them in that lila is actually what gives joy to all the jivas, like that. So here you find the milan of the yugal, Sita and Ram, in this pastime which I told you. And when Sita is taken to Lanka, there we see the separation. So this separation and union, this actually churns the hearts of the devotees with great devotion and love for the Lord. That is the reason why Lord has expanded eternally into Shakti forms. Now, although I told you Shakti, Shaktiman are separate, it is also said in the Shastra, Shakti, Shakti Matayor Abhedaha, it is said. There is no difference between Shakti and Shaktiman. Now, what is the meaning of that? Till now we have been talking Shakti, Shaktiman are different. Actually, similar thing is said by Srila Kaviraj Goswami also. Radha Krishna Yakatanu Duyi Dehadari Anyonya Vilasakare Aswadana Kari. He's telling Radha and Krishna are one, but they have divided into two forms for the sake of lila. Otherwise, they are one absolute truth. There is another verse also which says this. Radha Krishna pranaya vikritir hladini shakti rasmat ekatmana api bhuvi pura deha bhedam gatau tau chaitanyakyam prakatam adhuna tadvayam chaikyamaptam radha bhavadyuti suvalitam naomi Krishna swarupam. In this verse, he says, Radha Krishna pranaya vikritir hladini shakti rasmat ekatma now. He's saying ekatma means what? Only one supreme absolute truth. Api bhuvi pura deha bhedam gatavatav. But that one Atma has become two, as Radha and Krishna, Shaktiman and Shakti, for the sake of lila, like that. So they are simultaneously one and different. Like for example, if you keep a lamp in a dark room, that blackness or the darkness in the room will be dissipated. Correct, no? So the lamp is only in one place, but the light and heat emanating from the lamp is spreading all over the room. Ekadesha sitasya agner jyotsna vistaraniyata. It spreads all over the room. Similarly, Krishna is situated in the spiritual world, but his energies are spread out everywhere. Like for example, in the spiritual world there is Antaranga Shakti. We are here Bahiranga Shakti in the material world. We are living in the Bahiranga Shakti. Even in Antaranga Shakti there is a Sandhini Shakti, Samvit Shakti, Hladini Shakti, like that. Similarly, in the material world also, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Brahma Shakti, Vishnu Shakti, Shiva Shakti, they are all Shaktis. So Lord Shaktis are spread everywhere. Although he is situated in one place in the spiritual world. Krishna. So in this way, Krishna has expanded his Shaktis from himself only. They belong to him. So we as Jivas also, we are simultaneously one with him and we are different from him also. Why are we one with him? Because the Atma is also a minute sample of Krishna. But the Atma is not equal to Krishna. Like for example, a drop of water in the ocean has the same qualities of the ocean. But it is separate from, it is separate in many respects also. For example, a drop of water does not have waves, does not have whales, it cannot wreck a ship. A drop of water has very little salt quantity. Whereas the ocean can have waves, it can wreck a ship. It has a huge quantity of salt and all that. So this is a difference, Bheda aspect. And Abheda aspect is, you just take one Bisleri bottle of ocean water, go to the Boston beach, take one bottle of water and then you test it in the laboratory. The percentage of salt in that bottle of water will be the same as percentage of salt in the entire ocean. Like cooking also, while cooking what do? You take one rice and you do like this. Whether it is fully cooked, you check it. If that one rice is fully cooked, then you can say that the entire pot is cooked, like that. Similarly, if you want to know about Krishna, when you look at the jivas, you can get an idea what are the natures of Krishna. Like for example, we are Sachidananda. He is also Sachidananda. Similarly, we can see that the jivas also have intelligence. They have also beauty, many things. But all these things are in minute proportion. In him, in Krishna, they exist in oceanic proportion. So in that way, the simultaneous oneness and difference is explained. So, like for example, let us take a tree. Now the flower is simultaneously tree also, but it has its separate identity also. If you take a tree, say I show you a flower, you say this is flower. Then I show you a fruit, you call it's a fruit. You call it a leaf, you call it a branch, you call it a stem, you call it root. So they all have different names, but totally you call them as tree. So they all are simultaneously one with the tree and also separate from the tree. Is that clear? That's the example that is given. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while explaining to Sarvam Bhattacharya and also Prakasha and Saraswati, very nicely he explained this point. So there is one very deep concept that comes at this point in the purport, which anyway we'll explain because that point has come in the purport. You see, there are two philosophies, Vivartavad and Parinamvad. The Vivartavad is Mayavadis. Impersonalists talk about Vivartavad and Vaishnavas talk about Parinamvad. So I will explain both of them, what they say, and you can compare and see for yourself. See, the impersonalists say there is nothing like Shakti and Shaktiman. There is only one absolute truth, which is called Supreme Brahman. Supreme Brahman. That's what. Ekam Satyam Dvitiyam Nasti. That's their understanding. Sarvam Kalvamidam Brahma. So this kind of Supreme Brahman is the only thing. Okay, if that is the only thing, then you may ask, but what is the world that we are seeing here? We are looking around so many things in this world. What are they? So Father, they say, this world actually does not have existence only. They are calling it as Brahmam Satyam, Jagat Mithya. This is only Mithya. So you may ask, if you say it's Mithya, I can see there's a table here, there's a mic here, body is here. So further they will say that, no, you are watching this in your dream. It is only a dream. The Jiva is you are Supreme Brahman, but you are actually dreaming that this world is existing. Like for example, all of you, night when you go to sleep, the dream appears as good as reality. You have experience? Like sometimes a tiger is chasing you in the sleep, a dog is chasing you. So you even get sweat also when you get up. It looks like reality. But then when you open your eyes in the morning, there is no more dream. So it's only a dream. The dream is gone. Like one fellow in the night, he was sleeping in a cot, and then he wanted to drink water. So there were two bottles, one empty bottle, one bottle with water. So he took the empty bottle and he was keeping like this. Sound was also coming, gada 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 gada, but he was not drinking anything. Next day morning he was telling, hey, I drank one full bottle of water, still I am feeling thirsty. But actually he didn't drink, he was just imagining, correct, no? So it was a dream. So they say that this material existence is like a simha swapnam. They say that this looks like this simha is there. When you get up, there is no simha. Similarly, when you become a realized soul, awakened soul, you will not see anything in this world, that this world has no existence. And how do you realize that? They say start with nitya anitya vastu vivekam. Difference between what is nitya and what is anitya. So Supreme Brahman is nitya and everything else is anitya. Anitya samsara, temporary, understand that. And then also give up the enjoying mentality in this world. Iha means earth, amutra means heaven. Iha amutra bhogadi viragam. Give up the pleasures of the earthly and the heavenly pleasures. Renounce them and go to forest and meditate on the Supreme Brahman. And then now you ask them, who am I? Am I Supreme Brahman? If I am Supreme Brahman, then how did I get trapped in this body? They will say that you are a Jiva now, but you are not always Jiva. So there are three platforms, Pratibhashika, Vyavaharika, Paramarthika, three levels. So the Pratibhashika platform is the material platform. Vyavaharika platform is a platform where you think I am the Jivatma. In Pratibhashika platform you think, I am the body. You are in the enjoying mentality, you are identifying with the material world. In Vyavaharika stage, you think I am the Jiva, trapped in this material body, I am suffering. And then when you go to Paramarthika stage, you realize that I am not actually Jiva. Who am I? I am Paramatma, I am Supreme Brahman. At that time you will realize. They will say like that. And then you ask, but what is this matter that is visible here? They will say when the Supreme Brahman, when the Supreme Brahman touches Tamoguna, it becomes matter. When the Supreme Brahman touches Rajaguna, it becomes Jiva. When Supreme Brahman touches Sattva Guna, it becomes Vasudeva. This is their contention, which is very, very offensive contention. Because to consider that Supreme Brahman becomes touched by Sattva Guna and becomes Lord Vasudeva, it's a very offensive thought it is. Therefore, Prabhupada very strongly condemns Mayavadis. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanamashitam. 9.11 Bhagavad Gita. So, and then they say that, but all these three gunas and all these three forms of this Vasudeva and the Jiva and the matter, everything will disappear when you realize you are the Supreme Brahman. So, why was this philosophy spoken like this? I will tell you the reason. Because if they say Supreme Brahman is the only truth, by that what will happen is, they don't have to give explanation on how God became trapped by this Maya. Correct, no? The moment they agree that Maya exists, What is the problem? How could Maya trap God? Correct, no? Then the nose gets cut. Therefore, they say Maya doesn't exist only. Like that they say. Therefore, they say Brahmam Satyam Jagat Mithya. Okay, now this is called Vivartavad. Until now I spoke. Let me tell you what is Parinamvad. Explain about Parinamvad. Parinamvad says that one more problem the Vivartavad people say, if you say that God is Supreme Brahman and then He has, expanded as this material world, jivas and all these things, and they think that that brings about a change in the absolute truth. Absolute truth should not experience any change. The moment the change comes, then he is no more proper absolute truth. Therefore, they say, no, absolute truth cannot have any change. It is unadulterated, pure, pristine. So, therefore, besides absolute truth, there is nothing else that exists. And this is called impersonalism. Is that clear to everybody? Now, let us come to the Parinamvad now. In Parinamvad is Vaishnava philosophy. What they say, our Vaishnava Acharyas, the Supreme Brahman exists, but the Supreme Brahman also has Shaktis also. Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shuyate Swabhavaki Jnana Balakriyacha. As he says, no? So he says that Natasya Karyam Karanam Cha Vidyate Natat Samaschabhyadikascha Drishyate Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shuyate Swabhavaki Jnana Balakriyacha. This is a Shruti mantra. So this Shruti mantra says that he says that the Supreme Lord, there is no one natat samascha adikascha. There is no one equal to him or greater than him. Like that it says. And then it also says that he has many energies. Multiple energies he has. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. And those energies are simultaneously one with him and also separate from him. That's called Achintya Beda Veda Tattva. So, although they are one with him, they also have separate existence. So although the Shaktis are separate from him, they are dependent on him. So like for example, Radharani has a separate identity, but she always exists to be subordinate to the Lord and be servant of the Lord. And we are also Prakritis like her. She is also Prakriti and we are also Prakriti. Now a very interesting question I will ask you. When we talk about energy, we generally think about chemical energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, correct, no? Or electrical energy. So energy is generally thought of by us as something, not a person, correct or not? But why are the jivas then counted as energy? Correct, no? Like we say that jivatma is spiritual energy, we say. Whereas the things are all called as material energy. So how can a person, jiva, be called as energy? Here comes an interesting point. Why are we called energy? Energy means it is possessed by energetic. And Krishna is the only person who is not possessed by anybody. Therefore he is energetic. Other than Krishna, everything else is counted in energy only. Because they all are possessed by Krishna, you will see that. Like, Jivatma is possessed by Krishna because we are, whose part and parcels? Krishna's part and parcels. And similarly, the material energy also is owned by Krishna. So we are all owned by Krishna. So therefore, Swamsha and Vibhinnamsha, if you see, Swamshas are all energetic and Vibhinnamshas are all energy. We are energy. Jivas are all tiny energy. So in this way, the Lord possesses both spiritual energy and material energy. In this world he has. Here comes a very interesting point. The change does not happen in the Lord. He remains as he is. But the change happens in his energies. For example, one energy can be transformed into another energy without any loss or gain. Correct? But energy is never destroyed. So the matter is eternal, but the manifestations of matter is temporary. For example, I'll tell you a simple example Prabhupada gives. Let us take one kumhar, one potter. This potter has a mountain of clay. With that mountain of clay, he makes varieties of pots. Small pots, big pots, clay plates, clay toys, everything he makes. And then he stacks them all in a shop for sale. So now he has gone for lunch. He has gone home for lunch, he will come back. At that time, you go to the shop. So what do you observe in the shop? You observe the wheel from which you are observing the parts coming out. And you also see the parts. Similarly, the material energy Durga Devi, she is like the wheel. And all the parts arranged are the 8.4 million species of life. So scientists are only seeing the parts now. And they are saying the parts came by chance. That's what they are saying. 8.4 million species. Correct or not? By natural selection. Actually, the word natural selection is a good word because nature is only Durga. But Durga selection only these are made. Correct, na? So these are all made, these parts are made. But is the wheel making them? No. Who is making them? The farmer. So the wheel is Durga, and by Vishnu's glance only Durga is able to make this. Vishnu only gives the jivas, correct, no? After that this is made. And not only that, the farmer is the Virat Purusha body. But inside farmer's body, the soul, that is super soul. So the super soul, unless he enters Virat Purusha, the Virat Purusha cannot function. No datishtat tada Virat. You put that word, you will get in Bhagavatam. So Virat Purusha's body is the farmer's body, but in the farmer's body there is soul, that is super soul. So the super soul, the Virat Purusha's body, the wheel is the Durga Devi, and 8.4 million species. So this is how your understanding can be complete in how the creation is done in this world. So now what the Parinamvad says, that these are transformations which come. For example, the parts which are made, they are made from the clay. They come from clay, they return to clay. Correct or not? So the clay is eternal, but the shapes of the parts is temporary. Like 8.4 million species, we all have these forms. Are these forms permanent? The forms gradually disintegrate from childhood to youth to old age, and the body disintegrates and completely becomes Panchamahabhut. Correct, no? So that means the Panchamahabhut and the three other subtle elements, these are eternal. So the Virat Purusha who comes from the lotus which comes from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, anybody knows what is that lotus? It has three components. What is this lotus made up of? One of the three components is, it is the gross elements of the universe in their subtle form. That is one aspect. And also it has subtle elements which are three. Man, Buddhi, Ahankar. And thirdly, all the fruitive activities performed by the living entities, the karmic reactions, they are called fruitive results. These three are put together forming this lotus, which is coming from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So when Brahma is appearing in that lotus, he is seeing that the lotus is shining like millions of suns. Why? Because these are consisting of the jivas, which are like particles inside that lotus. And all the jivas are carrying these three subtle components. One is the fruitive activities they have done in the past lives, waiting to be given the results, and the subtle elements and the gross elements in their subtle form. So all these three are forming the lotus. And Brahma is wondering how to make facility for the jivas to live. So using this only, he is making the 14 planetary systems. And then putting jivas, urdhvam gacchanti sattvastha, madhye tishtanti rajasa, jaganya gunavrittistha, adho gacchanti tamasa. So sattva-guni people are put in the top, Rajogani people are put in the middle, Tamogani people are put in the lower planets. After that, the fruitive results are also given to them accordingly. So the gross and subtle bodies are given for all jivas. So in this way, you will see that the whole creation comes about. So three examples Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives in his argument with the Bhattacharya and Prakash and Saraswati. One example is, consider a tree. A tree produces many things like leaves. But now in this season, Patjad season, all the leaves fall. Correct, no? But the tree remains as it is. Later on again the leaves come. So leaves appear and they disappear. Fruits appear, they disappear. Flowers appear, disappear. So the tree doesn't change. Only the other things in the tree change. So absolute truth is like the tree. And its energies are like the changing situation. So there is change in the energy, but there is no change in the absolute truths. So in this way, in the Parinamvad, very beautifully Lord Chaitanya establishes. Another example he gives. The sun has been existing for millions of years. It never becomes diminished. And it is giving out so much heat and light. So the heat and light is its energy, and sun is like the energetic. Lord is like that. Lord has unlimited energies, and he remains unchangeable. Also, he gives example of a parasamani or a touchstone. You can use one touchstone to touch so many objects and make them gold. But they were wood, they became gold. So transformation came in them. But parsimony remains as it is. So these are the examples he gives to illustrate the point that how in Parinamavad philosophy, the absolute truth remains as it is, while there is change in the energies. He explains that. And another important thing Lord Chaitanya says, that you cannot say Jagat Mithya, because anything that has emanated from the Lord is absolute truth. So therefore anything that has come from the truth also has to be truth. That means Maya is not non-existent. Maya is existing. At the same time, the manifestations of Maya are temporary. So one example let us give. Impersonalists generally they give the example of rope and the snake example. So you are walking in the road. You see a rope is lying on the road. And it's little dark. The moonlit night you see. You are likely to mistake it to snake. The rope is not the snake. Rope is a rope only. To see rope as a rope and snake as a snake means you are free from illusion. Correct, no? But if you see rope as a snake and you fear, that's unnecessary fear. Or you are walking in the road, you see it appears like a rope but it is moving also. What is it? A snake. Actually, if it is only a rope, it's not supposed to move. The very fact moving from right side to left side, it is no more a rope. It's a snake. Correct, no? So 4 things we need to know. You should see rope as a rope, snake as a snake. Don't see rope as a snake, don't see snake as a rope. Correct, no? Rite yartam yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta cha atmani tadviddi atmano mayam yata baso yata tamaha. This is a verse Bhagavatam which explains this point. I will briefly explain this. For example, you should see spiritual items as spiritual, and we should see material items as material. And don't see material items as very great, divine. And don't see spiritual items as mundane. So 4 things. So let us give an example to make it easy. Now for example, when a jiva is afflicted by moha, then he is fascinated by material items. Like for example, people watch all the Hollywood, Bollywood movies and everything. After that, they become sort of ghost haunted about the attraction for man and woman. So therefore, there is a great fascination for each other in this world. But actually, when you become spiritually advanced, one will realize that all these bodies are made up of Panchamahabhut and the grass and subtle coverings. There is nothing so great about this body. What makes this body very special is if this body is engaged in Lord's service, then it becomes spiritualized. Otherwise, actually I don't say body is to be condemned, but the body is shariram kalu dharma sadhanam. Body is a dharma sadhan. We should use it in rendering service to Lord. Otherwise, consider decorating this body so much, so many hairstyles. How many things people are conscious about? People are shoe conscious and belt conscious and outfits, dress conscious and hairstyle conscious, mustache conscious, beard conscious, except Krishna conscious. Conscious about everything mundane, material, all perishable commodities. Because they are in moha, correct, no? They are taking the material body to be very, very extraordinary. Like that. So, on the other hand, when it comes to spiritual items, like Lord has come as holy rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri. God has given holy books like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Lord has come as a holy name, holy prasad, holy devotees, holy divyadesams. Lord is coming as, holy acharyas like Prabhupada. So, but such people who are materially infatuated, they take these holy items cheaply. They are not interested, correct or not? So, first is moha, where they consider material items to be great. They think money is honey. Money is everything. But the money is honey is correct example only. Why? Because just like a honeybee collects honey and it is taken away by another farmer with a fire torch. Therefore, money is honey only, correct only. Their understanding. Either money leaves us or we leave money. We are not able to always stay with money. Only Narayana stays with money at his lotus feet. Who is that? Lakshmi. And she is after Narayana. Narayana doesn't have to hold on to Lakshmi. Lakshmi will always come with him wherever he goes. Whereas for ordinary living entities, the Lakshmi leaves them. Actually, in this world, Lakshmi is called Chanchala. She jumps from one pocket to another pocket. Anyway, first is the moha situation where you consider the material things to be great. Second thing is spiritual items we neglect. And the third one and fourth one are realized state, where you see material things as material, spiritual things as spiritual. You can clearly see them. So, while explaining this example, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that if you are considering rope to be a snake, there has to be a real snake elsewhere. Correct or not? How can you misunderstand rope to be a snake if something called a snake never existed? Which means, in this world, there are people who are beautiful, people who are wealthy, people who are intelligent and knowledgeable, people who are strong, people who are famous, and people who are renounced. When you look at these people with these 6 opulences, are people not attracted to them? Because these opulences must be existing elsewhere, which is spiritual world, eternally, and it is pervertedly reflecting in this world, therefore we are attracted. So what we are seeing in this world is like a rope, and that is like a snake. Because snake exists, then only you can misunderstand rope to be snake. So if somebody says that such a thing doesn't exist only, then this is also not possible. That is Lord Chaitanya's argument. So that means there is spiritual world with its variety. Therefore, material variety is possible. If there is no variety in the absolute truth, there cannot be any variety in the material world also. It's not possible. So, for example, you will see that whatever you see in the tree is reflected in the water, like mango tree. It has leaves, it has branches, it has mango. Everything is seen in water also. But what is the difference? What you see in the water cannot make you happy. If you dive in the water, you won't get the mango because it's only perverted reflection. Whereas the original mango can satisfy you. Similarly, the spiritual variety can satisfy the soul and not the material variety. So in this way, this is actually called the Parinamvada. Now that is why Prabhupada says here, why Mayavadis are saying spirit here, Chit, Achit, Samanvayaha, spirit matter. Why are they saying like this? Because they cannot accept that Maya separately exists. The moment they accept, the question will come, if Maya is there, then how could Maya trap the Supreme Brahman? Who is great? Is Supreme Brahman great or Maya great? Then they will be defeated. Therefore, they say Maya doesn't exist only. So, to deny the existence of Maya itself is offensive because anything that emanates from the Lord has to have its existence. You cannot deny its existence. Because Maya Shakti is actually coming from the Lord. She is present. Matter is eternal, but the manifestation of matter is temporary. So therefore I gave you the example of the pots and the clay. Clay and the pots example we gave. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very thoroughly explained Lachinta Beda Beda Tattva while talking to both Prakashan and Saraswati and also to Sarvabhattacharya. So we could only do this much today. There were 3 points. First point I told about the Shakti and Shaktiman. Elaborately we spoke with Sitaram example. Secondly, I spoke about this Vivartavada and Parinamvada. The third one, for which we don't have time now, is about Baladev. So the context of this pastime is that Brahma stole calves and the covered boys and left Krishna alone, thinking that when I go to Brahmaloka and come back, Krishna will come to me with folded palms begging for me to give back the covered boys and calves. That was whose imagination? Brahmaji's. Did that happen? No. Rather, Krishna expanded himself into calves and covered boys, as many number. And yesterday in the class I told you very elaborately about how precisely Krishna expanded also. And then he took them all home and they all met their respective mothers and they all had a very nice time. Almost 1 year was over. Only 1 week was left for 1 year to get over. At that time, Balaramji, one day, was observing one new phenomenon in Vrindavan. He saw that the cows which were herding in the top of Govardhan, from there they came running very fast to the ground. There were a lot of thorny bushes also. But the cows were running so fast as if the front two legs came together, back two legs came together, and they were running like as if it appeared only they had two legs, one in the front, one in the back. It appeared like that. They were running very fast and they lifted the tail also. With great affection, breathing heavily, they came fastly to meet their calves which were on the ground. And the covered men were taking stick in their hand, and they were also coming running from the mountain top to mountain bottom. They're wondering why the cows are running. And the cows went and gave milk to grown-up calves. See, grown-up calves don't drink milk. They eat grass. Why are they giving to the grown-up calves instead of giving to the tender calves? That Balaram was surprised. And not only that, covered men who came down with sticks, little angry with the cows, as soon as they saw their covered boys, they gave up their anger and they picked up their covered boys on their lap and started smelling their head and embracing them and offering affection to them. And Balaramji thought, something fishy here. These fellows are angry, now they gave up their anger and embracing their children. And the cows are also giving milk to the grown-up calves. Then he called Krishna and said, hey Bhaiya, come here. What are you doing? It seems in Vrindavan you created some magic. No. When I look at all these covered boys and calves, they don't look like the original copy. They look different. They are very glowing and they are very attractive. Tell me, what have you done? I am not able to figure out. Is it Maya Shakti is in play here in Vrindavan? Because if Maya Devi is doing this play, Balaramji cannot be defeated by Maya. Because Maya, where does she come from? From Mahavishnu, then Mahamaya comes afterwards. So Balaramji is higher than that. So he asked, what is the truth behind it? Tell me. And then Krishna smiled and said, the whole thing, what happened? Now Balaramji laughed and said, oh, okay. And then Krishna said, now I am going to forest again. In 1 week I will return them all back. They'll come. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given a description in his commentary. He says, why even Balaramji was bewildered. Can Balaram be bewildered by anybody? You all know the pastime when the dancing of Krishna on the hoods of Kaliya happened. Everybody was crying except Balaram. Balaram cannot be bewildered in any situation. He told all the Vijayavasi, why are you crying? The Kaliya cannot do anything to my brother. Be confident. And it turned out to be true also later. So Balaram is generally not bewildered at all. But our Rupa Goswami, when he in the Bhakti Samrat Sindhu, he writes, he says, Devya Sargadi Kartratvam Brahma Rudradi Mohanam Bhakta Prarabdha Vidvamsam. So these three things he says. The first thing he says, Divya Sargadi Kartratvam. Krishna is the source of material and spiritual worlds. Secondly, he says, Brahma Rudra Adi Mohanam, he says. That means Krishna put Brahma to bewilderment, Rudra to bewilderment in the Mohini Murti lila. And Adi means Balaram. Balaram is also included. But why did Krishna bewilder Balaram? There is a reason for that, he says. The reason is, Krishna thought, for 1 year period, I am only going to be expanding into covered boys and calves. So Balaram will feel separation from his friends like Sridama, Sudama, Madhumangal, or original copy. If he comes, no, I am only there, he will say, hey, Krishna, you are only there as Sridama, Sudama, Madhumangal. Where is my real friend, Sridama, Sudama, Madhumangal? So he didn't want Balaramji to feel separation, so he put him into bewilderment. So for almost 1 year, even Balaramji couldn't see any difference. Now just 1 week before he revealed it. Now why did he reveal now? Because Balaram has to wait only for 1 week period only, 7 days. Like that Krishna played a trick even on his elder brother, which goes to show one thing to all of us. In this world, Krishna is the Supreme Lord and everybody else is subordinate to him. And whatever Krishna does, he has a purpose behind it. He has a purpose behind it. So, when Krishna would now go to forest after a week, at that time Brahma would come. And Brahma will be shocked to see that Krishna has so many, equal number of associates, covered boys and calves playing with him. And Brahma will immediately run to the cave and see there. And there they will be as usual. In the cave, the calves and the covered boys. Then again Brahma would come here, back and forth he would go. And Brahma was thinking, when I go there, this fellow puts them all back inside. When I come here, he brings them all here. He was thinking like that. And then he was asking, are there two sets? It appears that in cave there is one set of calves and covered boys, and here there is a second set. So there is a verse which says, Evam sammohayan vishnum vimoham vishwamohanam swayaiva mayaya ajopi swayameva vimohita. It says, Evam sammohayan vishnum. He came with the intent to bewilder Krishna. Who? Brahma. Vimoham. Lord can never be put into illusion, he says. Vishwamohanam. He puts the whole world in illusion. Swayaiva mayaya ajopi swayameva vimohitaha. Using his bewildering potency, Brahma wanted to bewilder Krishna, but he himself got bewildered. He says, swayameva vimohita, he says. So in this way, now you may be thinking that there are only two sets, correct, no? One set of expansions is Krishna, and second set is in the cave. And that is not true. There are three sets. Why? When Brahma was about to steal cows and calves, at that time, Lila Shakti, she observed it, that Brahma is getting a desire. She observed the desire of Brahma. Can you imagine? Even before Brahma acted, immediately she went and told Krishna, my dear Lord, I think you are aware what Brahma is about to do. Krishna said, I know very well. That means Krishna also knows, and Lila Shakti also knows. So she said, I need your order so that I can go ahead. And Krishna also said, yes, you have my order. Actually, you may ask, but what is the order she wanted? That they both know each other very well. And what did she do? She created Maya Arbaka, Maya children and Maya calves, and produced them in front of Brahma. And she took the actual covered boys and calves and kept them in another place, because she didn't want Brahmaji to touch them, because they are all Krishna's pure devotees. So she produced a plastic copy of these fellows. And in this way, what Brahma kept in the cave was Maya Arbaka, correct, no? Just like Maya Sita pastime you may be knowing, similar thing. So what he kept was only Maya children only. But the actual children were kept in another place by Lila Shakti, and they came back by Krishna's order later on. So in this way, Brahma was even more cheated. He thought there are two sets. Actually, there are three sets. He never knew that also. So he thought he is going to cheat Krishna. Far from cheating Krishna, he himself got cheated. So in this way, the more you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, our affection and respect for Krishna's sweetness and greatness, this will greatly increase. Anantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you very much.